Welcome to Bariatric Business Accelerator, the podcast created for busy weight loss practitioners and their teams that want to systematize, simplify, and accelerate the growth of their new or existing weight loss practice. I'm your host, Karol Clark, and today I want to talk about something that I've seen time and time again in practices, including our practice over the many past years I've been a practice administrator. Doing the same things over and over, even though you know they aren't working. And over the past decade, I've gotten to work with lots of practices across the US, and we all experience this. Maybe for you, it's that your marketing strategy that you keep hoping will finally generate consistent leads, is that you're hanging on to that. Or maybe you have a front desk workflow that leaves patients very frustrated and your team a bit burned out. Or maybe you're in the habit of jumping in to fix every single problem that's happening in your practice yourself instead of guiding your team and providing the systems for them to take care of a lot of that on their own and to also empower them to be much more satisfied in their role. So whatever it is, it's easy to slip into a cycle of familiar patterns. Like I say, I do this. We can do it in our personal life and our professional life. But we do this because it feels pretty safe or because we might be too busy to step back and question what really is going on. So here's the thing though, logically, you already know that if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting what you've always received, the same results. So how can we each break free? It probably sounds easy, but it's never really easy when you are used to doing things a certain way. But I want to share a few practical steps that I've found to be really helpful and that you can use to move past what's not working and create meaningful change in your business, or maybe even apply this to your personal life. The first step is to name it honestly. The first step is awareness, and that's acknowledging that something's not working. Get real with yourself about exactly what's not working, write it down, and be specific. So instead of saying our marketing isn't great, say we've been running the same social media ads for a year without results, but be very specific about that. When you name it clearly, you are able to take away some of the different power that it may have over you because it's much more just straightforward right there in front of you. The second step is to get curious, not critical. So we don't want to beat ourselves up about this or someone else. So often I see owners really do beat themselves up. I should have fixed this a long time ago. But self-blame doesn't change anything. And so we oftentimes will work through that and then they just it's like a breath of fresh air as things are changing. So instead of beating yourself up, ask yourself, why have we kept doing it the same way all along? What was the benefit? What was that benefit? It could be real benefit or it could be just a perceived benefit. So we want to take a close look at that. And what are the consequences to me and to the business and to my team and our patients if we don't make any changes and we keep it just the same? Curiosity will really open the door for you to figure out better solutions. So this is where it really gets fun. Step 3 is reimagining what success looks like. So before you jump into just fixing everything right away, you want to define what you actually want instead. So often we don't feel like we have the time to do this or it's something that's possible, but really you want to know what it is. What does success look like for you? What do you want that to look like? For example, if your patient onboarding isn't working, what would a smooth, welcoming process look like? What would that look like? What would your patients enjoy? Involve your team in this a bit as well if it's something specific to a patient flow or something like that. If your marketing isn't consistent, what would an effective strategy look like? What would be the results that brings in? Clarity here is what will actually guide your next steps. So oftentimes we'll cut through the clutter and we will actually figure this out. Step 4 is to commit to one change at a time. I know, like you, I'm impatient. I want to do a lot of things at the same time, but you don't have to overhaul everything overnight. If you try to do too much, then what happens is oftentimes you may get stuck and because you're overwhelmed in that process. Pick one area that you're going to improve first, Break it into actionable steps, assign clear ownership and timelines, and remember that small focus changes implemented really well will create momentum, just like for our patients. As they start to lose weight, they get some momentum going and they keep going. The fifth step is to build in some sort of accountability. When you're busy caring for patients, doing patient care, keeping up with all the things related to your practice or your program, it's easy to let improvements slide to the bottom of the list because we've got so many things to get done. That's why I always recommend setting up accountability, whether it's a weekly team meeting, a metrics dashboard, you know how I am about numbers, or working with a consultant such as myself to find a way to track your progress and stay on course. This is a huge, for lack of a better word, game changer. And finally, step 6, celebrate progress, even the small wins. Changes take energy, they take persistence, they take a lot of persistence, of course. When you see improvements, even incremental, acknowledge that you're seeing change. Bring that, be positive with your team and acknowledge that with them. Share it with the team, reinforce that you're committed to doing things differently and that you're actually seeing results and it is paying off. So what I do know is that you are not stuck because you lack talent. I know that for a fact. It's not because you lack intelligence or that you don't care. Those are not the features of the people that I'm working with and those that really know that there's something not working. You're stuck because you're human, because you have familiar patterns that you've set up. It's very familiar. And it's familiar, and even though it's not effective, it can cause you to continue to do the same thing. Maybe you're afraid of the reaction you'll get from your team or just the whole overwhelm of making this happen. But you absolutely have the power to do something different. If you're really ready to finally stop spinning your wheels, take the first step today. Name what's not working, as I mentioned. Reimagine what could be better and commit to one clear change to move towards your goal. I do this all the time with practices. Sometimes they'll come and they want to increase their number of leads and their whole process for patient onboarding and their patient education and their software system. We start with one thing and go from there. But we do have an entire plan so you can see every step along the way so you know you're going to get to where it is that you want to be. You deserve a business that runs more smoothly, serves your patients beautifully, and leaves you with energy at the end of the day, not feelings of frustration. So I do appreciate you listening. It is possible to make positive change. I do blueprints all the time that map out every single step, who's responsible for it, what the deadline is, and we see progress every single day, and it creates momentum, and it's so exciting, and I want the same for you. So if I can help in any way, just take this, implement it with your team, or if you want just a fresh perspective, reach out to me, Karol, Karol, at weightlosspracticebuilder.com. I look forward to everything that you have ahead in your practice or your program. Take care.